So welcome all. Welcome all. Now, we have a fantastic keynote to look forward to with Eric Schmidt here. But before that happens, I do believe Wendy will offer us a few words, a little bit more about the fellowship and some of the work that you've been supporting. Wendy Schmidt.
Everybody. Hope you can hear me. I'm so delighted to have flown from San Francisco to be here with you today. I will only be in London as long as it took me to fly back and forth, but this is worth it. I've met some of the fellows, and I've watched some of their videos, and it's so very, very exciting. We're launching a conversation today, and it's one that Ellen MacArthur Foundation, the Schmidt Family Foundation, hope will have resonance for years to come and who have very many practical and meaningful applications. Frankly, it's a conversation worldwide about sustainability that it's time to have some innovations in the product design, in the supply chains, in the manufacturing techniques that the world needs if we're going to maintain a standard of living for those of us who have a high one, and if we're going to increase the standard of living for the rest of the planet. Where we have a planet with limited resources, and waste has an actual negative economic value. So this is a key understanding that we've come to in this century, that our world does not have unlimited resources for us. The horizon, we can see it, and it's getting closer every day. At the Schmidt Family Foundation, we work to invest in 4 different program areas. The first one is climate and energy. The second is ecological agriculture, where we want to address the problems of the industrial food system. The third is human rights, and our 4th program is what we call our maritime connection. We have a program in Rhode Island, in Newport, called 11th Hour Racing. And it's through this program that I actually happened to meet Ellen MacArthur. This group works, I should say, to awaken the sailing community and the maritime community generally about the urgent need for their stewardship over the waters that they depend upon for their livelihoods, for their recreation. So when I met Ellen, let me describe this for you just for a moment. It was kind of a bold moment. You might call it a cold call. We called Ellen up thinking she would make a really wonderful ambassador for our work. And she was gracious enough to say, sure, come to London. I'll meet you with Jamie Butterworth. We'll sit down. So we did. We flew over. We met her at the Royal Ocean Racing Club. And our afternoon tea meeting stretched into a leisurely walk to dinner. We had a lovely Indian meal. And that was followed up by lots of Skype calls and ongoing conversations, visits to the Isle of Wight, her visit to Palo Alto, where we work. And we occasionally did talk about sailing, but most of all, we talked about our work. We talked about the common ways that our foundations saw the world and how we might actually work together with a shared purpose. So while we don't yet have Ellen as an ambassador for our program, we did get something better, which is this common intellectual heritage that I just mentioned, and this alignment of our goals and our long-term interests, because we work to advance the more intelligent use of resources and energy in this century. In a future world with greater populations, greater demands, limited fresh water, and limited resources of all kinds in the products that we all depend upon right now. And let's not even mention the impact of climate change on all of this. So our purpose turns out to marry perfectly with the work of Ellen's Foundation, focusing on the future of humanity with broad industrial support and funding the passionate work that they are doing to educate young people and corporate managers in the practices and the promises of the circular economy. The real link between both of us, though, are 2 people who are here in the room today. Just over a decade ago, they planted, I think, the seed that's grown into what we're doing here now. And that's Bill McDonough and Michael Braungart. From Cradle to Cradle, they published their book in 2002. And it remains the thought leader, the most seminal book, the most complete philosophical statement of the work that is launching the circular economy. And I want to thank you both for your hard work, because you're always out there trying to educate people to think in a revolutionary way about what is around them. We also have Janine Byris here with us, who wrote the very important book, Biomimicry. These ideas have been around for a while, but boy, it's time to get them in action. When Ellen talks about stepping off of her race boat in February of 2005, having created the world's record for sailing around the world solo, a 71-day trip, she says she realized she didn't need very much stuff. And so she told me she spent the next few years trying to understand, what do I need, what's going on, who's making what, and what does it mean, and what is sustainability all about? I've got the world stage to have a foundation. What should I do with it? Her thought process began with Cradle to Cradle, and then led to what is today the job to demonstrate to the world that a regenerative economy will be the basis for the next industrial revolution. So this year's first class of Schmidt-MacArthur Fellows, embedded with their mentors in our partner universities in the UK and the US and in India, you represent the first wave of what we intend will be a systematic movement of young people, thinkers, inventors, entrepreneurs, and future business leaders who will go into our higher educational institutions and come out from there into industries and into the institutions that shape our world. And so, my husband, Eric Schmidt, is here to deliver the keynote speech. Executive chairman of Google, co-author of a recently published book called The New Digital Age. Eric shares with me the faith that the transformation we're talking about is not only possible and necessary, it's inevitable. We're both optimists. He'll say we can't win the fight against climate change, and we can't turn back the tide of rapacious extraction of raw materials in this planet, the thoughtless destruction of the Earth's life support systems, without the kind of innovation that will come through programs like this fellowship. So we need a new plan. I think he would say we need a new operating system in computer speak. And Eric and I, through our foundation and through partnerships like the one we are working on here with the Ellen MacArthur Foundation, are very, very proud to be part of helping to create that. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome my husband, Eric.